Hi guys, my name is Shermaine and you're watching Get to Know Cult Creative. Cult Creative is a career discovery and networking platform for Southeast Asia's creative workforce. Alright, it's a two-sided marketplace. So first of all, creatives have trouble finding work because of the lack of network and also the platform to find work. Current platforms like LinkedIn don't serve them because there's no portfolio feature, and also realize that a lot of them have personal branding problems. That's for creatives. For employers, on the other hand, they lack the resources, time, and expertise to hire the right creatives, and also there is not an all-in-one place for you to easily vet portfolios. So Cult Creative solves the needs for both sides, basically using technology to leverage on talent engagement, retention, and also management for both employers and matching them to the best creatives. There's obviously two explanations. One explanation is, of course, looking at the data, looking at all these, the number of creatives and also the industry problems, right, that came with it, ecosystem stuff. Employers didn't know how to hire creatives. Creatives don't know how to find work. And as the number grew and as we speak to a lot of focus groups and realize that, we can actually solve that gap, right? For me, it's a turning point because I realized that I don't want to just solve a client's issue anymore. I want to solve an industry issue because when I hired my team at Tish as well, we hired a lot of fresh graduates and all these young Malaysian talent. A lot of talents, people say, oh, hire international graduates, right? Hire somebody from, overseas graduate. But I realized that the local fresh graduates were very hungry, but actually just lack that personal branding and confidence aspect. I feel with Cult Creative, I can help nurture more Malaysian grassroots creatives at scale and bring them to that international forefront, give them borderless opportunities, give them job security that they feel like they couldn't have, if someone was working in like Perak, somewhere deep, but then they had such great graphic design skills. But using Cult Creative, they can work for opportunities for themselves. I started fundraising in November. It was definitely an uphill challenge because nobody would want to invest in a network professional platform for creative people. Super niche, right? So I actually met up with Nadia from Pod, the startup, and I had this one-on-one chat with her. I said that I'm going to start fundraising. What do I need to do to prepare myself? And she said that, Shermaine, when I fundraised my first round, I had to speak to 70. I did 70 pitches. So in my head, if she's fintech, she's doing 70, I need to do more than that. So I had a benchmark, right? And I actually kept track of how many people I pitched to. I pitched 80 times. It was a mix of VCs, angels, competitions, grants, anybody that will want to meet me, I will be there. I have an Excel sheet of all the people I've pitched to, obviously their phone numbers, emails, and also the reason why they said no. And I would harass them until like, hey, what can I improve on? And they will always be very kind enough to drop me an email. And I would actually highlight the no's and put it in this monster Excel sheet and actually realize that there was a pattern in the no's. The common things were like defensibility, market opportunity, and then I realized that those were the things I need to fix on in my pitches. But I also highlighted the yes. The yes were things like founder market fit. Founders have great experience and great passion in solving the mission, right? So with that, I actually tweaked the pitch deck and my pitch better to focus on why we are the right people, we are the right team to solve this creative industry problem. Also focus on how I can answer better when it comes to market opportunity, defensibility and whatnot. I think in the beginning, when of course we were working remotely and we have this massive vision, right, or mission to solve the talent gap for employers and creatives, but we were all working in silo, and I realized that a lot of the efforts that we were doing weren't aligned and there was a lot of overlapping. So how we overcame this is actually a good tip also, is this thing called OKRs. I don't know whether you guys know this, but KPIs are not, it's not very effective, especially for a growing startup. So I would urge startup founders to look into OKRs. OKRs are what helped us get us this far. It was actually what that got us funding. because eventually we stopped looking at the vanity metrics. But when we looked into OKRs and we needed to track our success match rate. And when we started tracking, we were at 7%. And then we realized that, hey, that's a massive issue, and all those things that we used to track, like monthly active users, weekly active users, those were just vanity metrics. So we all got aligned. Our OKRs are just active job seekers, success matches between employers and creatives, number of active jobs, and revenue. These are the only 4 OKRs that we track. And then we have an overarching objective, which is to become the best matchmaking platform. When we are aligned with these OKRs, the teams work better to, solve the same issue. There's no more overlapping because we communicate better now. We're just focusing on how can we get more job seekers and quality job seekers. What can we do to increase revenue, and what can we do to make better match rate between the creatives? So, funny story is we started the year with 7% success match rate, which is terrible. But because of the OKR and alignments, we are actually at 68% right now. I think we're taking risks every day. If you're not an entrepreneur, if you're not taking risks, that's a problem. What describes me all the time is being uncomfortably energized. And I feel like every startup founder needs to feel that way. If you're feeling too comfortable, that means you're not taking enough risk. But the biggest risk that we're taking now and going into 2023 is we're actually launching Indonesia, and we're actually building a regional creative community. We are very intentional with not having a Malaysian creative community and Indonesian creative community, but being intentional to build a regional presence and offer borderless opportunities and job securities for Southeast Asian creatives and employer brands. My advice for entrepreneurs is to look at failures as an opportunity to grow. Find opportunities in no's. And it sounds so cliche, but you literally only need one yes. And once you get one yes, that builds your momentum. I also wanted to add momentum fuels motivation. Startup entrepreneurs need to look at motivation as small base tasks, right? Where you actually break down this big gigantic task or mission into smaller portions, and actually once you start winning and you win with your team, that actually builds your momentum and fuels you even better to get more done.